जय कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी भाषात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. Thank you for taking out your precious time and coming to attend this Bhagavad Gita class. We are continuing our discussion from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are on chapter 2, which is entitled Contents of Gita Summarized. So far, we have heard many wonderful principles in Bhagavad Gita, and we heard how in the beginning of this Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra, he is beginning this very sacred conversation. Dhritarashtra, he is the root of tree of adharma. Why is it that he is beginning this Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, Bhagavad Gita should be starting with something from Krishna. So why it is that Dhritarashtra is speaking this first verse? And Bhagavad Gita is called as Yoga Sutra. It is a compilation of various wonderful yoga sutras. And it is full of various chapters which are named as yoga. Karma yoga, dhyana yoga. Every chapter ends with yoga. Any conversation which brings one to discussion of Krishna, that is sacred conversation. Whoever speaks that, anyone speaks that, if that takes one to Krishna and knowledge of Krishna consciousness, that is a sacred conversation. That's why Dhritarashtra, because he began this chapter by asking a very interesting question. What did my sons and sons of Pandu do? So I think some of you have joined after last Gita course. Any of you have joined after last Gita course first time today? Okay, 2-3 devotees are there. So thank you, welcome to our Bhagavad Gita class. Thank you for coming. So this Bhagavad Gita began with Dhritarashtra asking a very interesting questions. What did my sons and sons of Pandu do? Why is asking this question? He is hopeful. Maybe my sons will win. He is fearful also because this place is Dharma Kshetra. And Dharma Kshetra will only favor dharmic people. And my sons are to pakka dharmic. He knows that. But still, he has some hope. That is called as hope against hope. Shayad jeet jaye. Sanjay, he answers, he says, your son will never change. वो कभी नहीं सुधरने वाला है. देखो, he has gone to his teacher Dronacharya and what he is saying. He tells Dronacharya, Duryodhan goes to Dronacharya and says, Tava Shishyena Dhimata, just see what your intelligent disciple has done. Who is that disciple? Drishtadyumna, who is the commander-in-chief of entire Pandava army. He has arranged the military. And Duryodhan tells, you made the mistake in the past. You taught all of them. You taught Drishtadyumna, just see what he has done now. Don't repeat the same mistake again. Please fight properly. And then Duryodhan takes the name of all the warriors on side of Pandavas. And he misses the most important person, Krishna. Kyun? He's not going to fight. What is the use of taking the name of a person who is not going to fight? Khali Sarthi hai, Sarthi ka kaun naam leta hai? And then he takes the name of all the warriors on his side and he mentions one particular name. He was not there. Still he is taking his name. That is how people who depend on their own power, their own strength, they think, अरे मेरे पास सब कुछ है, मेरे पास बंगला है, गाड़ी है. But a spiritual person knows that if Krishna is not there, everything is zero. As Srila Prabhupada would say, whatever we have in our life, it is all big, big zero. If we add Krishna, that is that one. Otherwise, if one is not there, what is the use of adding 100 zeros? It is all zero only. Then all the Kaurava warriors, they blow their conch, beginning with Bhishma. And the result was Sa Shabdas Tumulo Abhavat. I think there is some echo in this. What's the echo? Shayad pura band nahi kiya. Zero कर दीजिए. हाँ. Sa Shabda Tumulo Abhavat. It was a great sound. And who is supposed to blow the conch on the side of Pandavas first? Drishtadyumna, because he is the commander-in-chief. But who blows the conch first? Krishna. Because all the Pandavas have faith that if Krishna is there, he is Supreme Lord. Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yesham Pakshe Janardan. So he should blow the conch first. There was no argument. Nobody complained. तो ये क्यों बजा रहे हैं पहले? मुझे बजाने देते. Drishtadyumna ने भी बोला नहीं कि मुझे क्यों नहीं बजाने दिया भाई. And when all the Pandava warriors, they blew their conch, the result was Hridayani Vyadarayat. The hearts were shattered. And then Srila Prabhupada writes there are various signs of victory of Pandavas. आप लोगों को कुछ याद है कौन कौन से साइंस थे विक्ट्री ऑफ पांडवास के? बोले प्रभु जी देखिए हम आके बैठे हैं ना, टेस्ट मत कीजिए, आप सुनाइए हम सुनेंगे. Anyone remembers any signs of victory of Pandavas? तो इससे पता चलता है पांडवों की विजय तो अवश्य होने वाली है. Flag, on the flag of Arjun there is Hanumanji. Hanumanji is there. Okay, Kapidhwaja, he is called as Kapidhwaja. Or Lord is there himself, Madhava. जहाँ पे माधव है वहाँ पे fortune will be there for sure. What else? The The chariot of Pandava, Arjun, was given by Agni. It was a huge chariot. Then गांडीव है उनके पास. और क्या है? हाँ जी. They were on the side of dharma. Okay, thank you. धर्म क्षेत्र में युद्ध हो रहा है. They are on the side of dharma. For sure they'll win. So then everything is set. पक्का एकदम विजय निश्चित है. अर्जुन के मन में एक आइडिया आता है. And that's how things go wrong at the least expected moment. He says, Krishna, please place my chariot in between the two armies. And Krishna places the chariot right in front of Bhishma and Drona. Bhishma, Drona, Pramukhatah. Why? Because they are dearmost to Krishna, to Arjuna. And then Arjuna is seeing 5 generations assembled in front of him. Not for family get together, but for fighting. आचार्यान मातुलान भ्रातॄन पुत्रान पौत्रान सखिम सथा श्वशुरान शुरिदश्चैव सेनयोर उभयोरपि. दोनों साइड में देख रहे हैं कि ये लोग सब इकट्ठा हो गए हैं. And then he gives 5 reasons. So quickly we will see 5 reasons. First, compassion, दया आ रही है, इतने लोग मर जाएंगे. Second, enjoyment, how will I enjoy alone? Third, sinful reaction. Thank you. Fourth, distraction नहीं, destruction. Destruction of family tradition. And then at the end of the first chapter, Aji, हाँ वही वही destruction of family tradition में आ गया हो. Thank you. And then in the end he says मुझे युद्ध नहीं करना है. He keeps his bow down. In the second chapter, we are in which verse by the way? 20th. So in the beginning Krishna gives the pep talk. क्या कर रहे हो अर्जुन? क्या चल रहा है? Just get up and fight. We are behaving like a eunuch. अर्जुन बोलते हैं कुछ भी कर लो, मैं युद्ध नहीं करने वाला हूं. बेटर टू बी किल्ड देन टू किल द सुपीरियर्स. गुरु न हत्वा हि महानुभावान्. एंड अल्टीमेटली ही सेज द 5th रीजन वाज आई एम पक्का कंफ्यूज्ड, इनडिसीजन. अब क्या करूं बताइए. ही सरेंडर्स एंड देन कृष्णा स्टार्ट्स गिविंग हिज इंस्ट्रक्शंस. द फर्स्ट इंस्ट्रक्शन कृष्णा गिव्स इज अर्जुन यू आर अ फूल. Murkho, you are behaving like a pandit, but you are fool. You are lamenting for that which is not worth lamenting. And then he starts describing the knowledge of the soul in various beautiful verses. And we are on verse number 20 or 21? 20. Okay, so we'll begin with verse number 20. So far he has described how the soul is eternal, it cannot be killed, we can never become God. So many things we have heard. Okay, so verse number 20, another very famous verse. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचन नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. Translation please somebody.
For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not came into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing and renewing. He is not slain when the body is slain.
Na jayate means takes birth. The soul never takes birth. Na mriyate, soul never dies. Kadachit, any time. ऐसा नहीं कि आज नहीं मरता होगा बाद में कभी मरेगा. No. Kadachit. Nayam bhutva, it has not come into being. Bhavita, it does not come into being. And in future also it will not come into being. That means soul doesn't appear. Whatever numbers of souls are there, they are constant. You know, people say, अरे अभी soul constant है तो Indian population, दुनिया का population कैसे बढ़ रहा है? हाँ जी? There are unlimited living entities, right? Even insects and bacteria and viruses and everybody has soul. So some living entities are coming to human species. And many are going to lower species. वो तो दिखता नहीं है ना हमको. उधर का पॉपुलेशन कितना बढ़ रहा है वो नहीं दिखता है, खाली अपना पॉपुलेशन दिख रहा है. So soul never takes birth. Soul is eternal. Aja means unborn. What is the meaning of pankaja? So panka means कीचड़, dirt. जो पंख में जन्म लेता है उसको बोलते हैं पंकज. Ja means to take birth. Aja means never takes birth. Nitya, it is eternal. Shashvata, it is ever existing. The same word, same meaning है ना. अजो, नित्य, शाश्वत. बार बार एक ही चीज को क्यों रिपीट कर रहे हैं? To emphasize. When same thing is spoken again and again, it is to emphasize. Just like there is a verse in one of the Puranas, Padma Puran, there is a verse. Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. So how many times one thing is repeated in this verse? कितने बार हुआ है? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 4 times. पक्का? 4 only? नहीं? चलो भी गिनते हैं. हरेर नाम, हरेर नाम, हरेर नाम. एवा मीन्स ओनली. केवलम, फिर से वही है, केवलम, ओनली. न अस्ति एव, और कुछ नहीं. न अस्ति एव, और कुछ नहीं. न अस्ति एव, और कुछ नहीं. कितना हो गया? 8 times same thing is repeated. That's how Kali Yuga mind is. Always tries to find an option. कुछ तो होगा. हरे नाम, और कोई मंत्र जप कर सकते हैं क्या? आज हरे कृष्णा, कल थोड़ा ओम नमः शिवाय, परसों जय संतोषी माँ, और कुछ शनिदेव का एक मंत्र कर लेंगे. और कुछ है क्या? हरेर नाम, हरेर नाम, हरेर नाम. अच्छा ठीक है, इसके साथ और कुछ किया तो एव, ओनली दिस इज सफिशिएंट. केवलम, नहीं कुछ तो होगा. न अस्ति एव, देयर इज नो अदर वे. नहीं ऐसा कैसे होगा? समथिंग मस्ट बी देयर. न अस्ति एव 3 बार बोला गया है. न अस्ति एव, नास्ति नास्ति. That is how Kali Yuga mind is. To convince the Kali Yuga brain, every time we have to repeat the same thing. ये नहीं है, ये नहीं है, ये नहीं है, यही करना है, यही करना है, यही करना है. नहीं कुछ तो और ऑप्शन निकालेंगे हम. That is how we try to find options. So similarly, same word is repeated. न जायते, न म्रियते, अजा, नित्य, शाश्वत, न हन्यते, हन्यमाने शरीरे. Arjun, you are thinking of these bodies. The soul is eternal. The soul can never be killed. So, jayate and aja. पहले लाइन में क्या है? न जायते, does not take birth. And third line is aja, it is unborn. It looks same, but there is still little difference. Aja means the soul does not come into existence at a particular time. That is where the theory of Mayavad is defeated. Anyone knows what is Mayavad? We have heard it in detail in 2.12. Mayavad. मैं ही भगवान हूँ, or we can become God. That is Mayavad. That is very, very common theory. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. So aham, I am that. So यहाँ पे clearly लिखा है, if the soul does not come into existence at a particular time, how can we become separated from God? That is Mayavad theory. हम लोग अभी, it is like example is given, there is one paper and you tear it into pieces. So the original paper lost its existence. We are that small bits of paper. And when we come together, then we become God again. सुनने में अच्छा लगता है नहीं? हम भगवान हैं. आप भूल गए कि आप भगवान हैं. ऐसा कैसे भगवान है जो भूल जाते हैं भाई? That's how Mayavad is. It is so very dangerous. Because that is our nature. That was our desire. हमको भगवान बनना था, इसलिए तो हम आ गए यहाँ पे. Why we came in this world? Why Lord has made this world? दुनिया बनाने वाले क्या तेरे मन में समाई? काय को दुनिया बनाई? हाँ जी. Enjoy. We wanted to enjoy. We wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. बोले आपके साथ नहीं रहना मेरे को. I want my own kingdom. Krishna says you can't enjoy, Baba. Just like small child says, मम्मी मुझे अपना किचन चाहिए, मुझे भी खाना बनाना है. बोलते हैं छोटे बच्चे कभी कभी अपना कुकर, अपना स्टोव, अपना चाकू सब चाहिए उनको. तो मम्मी क्या करती है? मम्मी बोलती है ठीक है तेरे लिए किचन लेके आती हूँ मैं. शी ब्रिंग्स अ टॉय किचन. बनाओ जितना बनाना है बनाओ. And the child plays for 2 hours, 3 hours, and after playing for 2-3 hours, comes back and says, मम्मी भूख लगी है. बोले अभी 2 घंटा बनाया ना, खा लेना. नहीं मम्मी ऐसा थोड़ी ना होता है, उसमें थोड़ी ना पेट भरेगा. That is what has happened with us. We were told by Krishna, please don't go बेटा, पिटाई होगी. नहीं नहीं नहीं, देखने दो ना, ट्राई तो करने दो क्या होता है उधर. The grass looks green always on the other side. हमको हमेशा चाहिए उधर क्या है. नहीं उधर मत जाओ. नहीं एक बार देखने तो दो. अरे आपके लिए नहीं, देखने से क्या प्रॉब्लम है, एक बार देख के आते ना घूम के. That is what curiosity kills the cat. सुना आपने? Curiosity. You are killed by our curiosity. क्या है उधर क्या है, फंस गए. फिर इधर वो 25 पैसे का सर्कस और वो गाजर हलवा वो सब चलता रहता है फिर. And then after trying to enjoy in this world for many lives, then we start thinking, इससे कुछ तो अलग होना चाहिए भाई, मजा नहीं आ रहा लाइफ में. And that's where one comes to this conclusion, there must be something which is not of this world I have to connect to. This knowledge comes in many lifetimes. आप लोग जो यहाँ पे बैठ के भगवद गीता सुन रहे हैं ना, to come to this Bhagavad Gita, it may have taken many lifetimes for a person. आसानी से नहीं मिलता है ये. That's what Krishna says in 7th chapter, 19th verse. Please take out that verse. It is not a ordinary thing for anyone to come to Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita class में आके बैठना with faith. It is not an ordinary thing. It may have taken one lifetimes. Krishna himself tells. मिल गया सबको? बहूनां जन्मनां अन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवं सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः. Translation please.
After many births and deaths, he who is actually his knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare.
Very rare. All those souls sitting here are rare souls. One time in our temple, we have our ashram, and उसके बाहर एक बोर्ड लगा रहता है ना, ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम, visitors please go to reception and outsiders not allowed, ऐसा लिखा रहता है anywhere. So our spiritual master Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he came once and he looked at that board and he called few of the devotees and said, we should write here above it, Brahmachari Ashram, endangered species. And then he said, in fact, devotees are endangered species. What is the population of the world? 7 billion. How many are devotees? 1 billion होंगे? 1 करोड़? 1 करोड़ तो होंगे ना? Definitely. अरे क्या कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ बोल रहे हैं. Connected to our society, connected to Krishna consciousness, those who are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, कितने होंगे? Not more than 1 lakh. That's how rare we are. इतना आसान नहीं है. इट इज सो वेरी रेयर. 16 माला करने वाले, चलो बाकी जो 1 2 2 3 माला कर रहे हो, चलो 4 5 लाख और पकड़ लो, चलो फिर भी कितना हो गया? We are so rare. You know, the process which we have received, it is not an ordinary process. As Krishna says, it has taken lifetimes to come to this understanding. This human body is itself rare. Out of millions of souls, few come to human body. In that, coming to spiritual life, it is still more rare. How many of human beings they come to spiritual life? You know, for many, anything apart from normal experience is spiritual. Actual spirituality, बहुत लोग तो फंस जाते हैं इधर उधर के चीजों में. बाबा रजा मुराद बंगाली, 24 घंटे में समाधान, इसमें फंस जाते हैं लोग. Actual spirituality, very rare. After coming to spirituality, coming to this understanding that Krishna is God, still rare. We have heard in our journey of self-discovery Gita course how rare this understanding is. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. In that, getting a chance to develop connection with a parampara, a bona fide parampara who is teaching us right understanding, that is still more rare. So we are so fortunate to have received it. Only thing we have to do is keep it with us. Because if something is given so very freely, then mind says, सस्ते में मिला, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. ऐसा कैसे दे सकते हैं सस्ते में इतना महंगा? Because that is what the calculation is in the outside world. जितना महंगा होगा उतना अच्छा, सस्ते में तो अच्छा कुछ मिलता नहीं है. But the process of spiritual life is such that the highest is given to the lowest of the people of Kali Yuga. Getting a chance to develop connection with the Supreme Lord, to love Him, very rare. That is the mercy given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, in the mood of Srimati Radharani. He has come to teach us how to practice Bhagavad Gita in our life. Because Bhagavad Gita बोल के तो कृष्ण चले गए. Then he understood, बाबा बोल तो दिया, कोई follow नहीं कर रहा है. Now I have to tell them how to follow this properly. That's how he came in the mood of a devotee. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is the highest devotee of Krishna? Who is the highest devotee of Krishna? That's Srimati Radharani. So सिखाना है तो किसका मूड लेके आएंगे? Highest devotee का ना. So Krishna came in the mood of Srimati Radharani and appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. And he is giving chance that was not given so far. सतयुग में नहीं दिए, त्रेता में नहीं हुआ, द्वापर में नहीं हुआ, अब हम लोग कलयुग में बैठे हैं. The best of all ages, फर्स्ट क्लास वाला एकदम. हम लोग सच में बिलीव कर रहे हैं, लग रहा है. सो कलयुग में मतलब ऐसे 4 बार जो फेल होके डफर बैच है ना, इधर हम लोग वो हैं जो कभी पढ़ाई नहीं किए थे, 4 बार फेल हुए वाले बैच. उनके लिए महाप्रभु इज कमिंग एंड सेइंग, बेटा तू क्लास में एग्जाम हॉल में आके बस नाम लिख दे पेपर पे, आई पास. हम लोग इतने, जो भी लगा लीजिए, स्टिल वी आर नॉट एक्सेप्टिंग इट. बोले हम नहीं जाएंगे, हम नाम भी नहीं लिखेंगे. Then Nityanand Prabhu comes to home and says, मैं नाम लिखता हूँ, बोल, घर पे आके नाम लिख रहे हैं. That's how merciful Lord Nityananda is. That's how merciful Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. He has come to give us the highest. So why not take it very seriously? Easiest thing is given. The highest thing is given so easily. खाली बस घर में बैठ के मुंह चलाना है. हरे कृष्ण मंत्र बोलना है, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम रामा हरे हरे. That is the simplest thing we can do anywhere. We can't do gymnastics of all the yoga asanas. We can't do yajna. यज्ञ में तो हम लोग सुने ही है पहले कैसा कैसा यज्ञ करते हैं आजकल. We can't do worship of the Lord also properly. So therefore the best and the easiest thing is the chance to worship Krishna by chanting the names of the Lord. And then this philosophy which we are reading, hearing every week, that will go from head to heart. Otherwise, I hope so head में तो जा रहा होगा, लेकिन हेड से evaporate होने में समय नहीं लगता है. या तो इधर से ही बाउंस हो जाता है, अंदर जाता नहीं है, अंदर चला गया, so it is very volatile. क्लास तो अच्छा था प्रभु जी, बहुत अच्छा क्लास दिए. क्या बोले? नहीं, सब अच्छा ही था. नहीं, कुछ तो बताया. अरे प्रभु जी इतना अच्छा था कि कुछ याद ही नहीं आ रहा है. So very volatile. The more we practice it, the more this knowledge will go from head to heart. Because we are not here for information, we are here for transformation. Information तो सब जगह है दुनिया में. Mobile sufficient, Google is sufficient to give all the information. So this knowledge of the soul, that is rare knowledge. Knowledge of Krishna, Supreme God, it is rare knowledge. Srila Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita, in this purport, the body is subject to 6 kinds of transformations. What are the 6 kinds of transformations which happens in our body? Birth, then grows, then stays for some time, then produces byproducts, dwindles, and then dies. These are the 6 changes which happens in all the bodies. It is not that नहीं मेरे body में तो नहीं होता होगा ऐसा. Every body this type of 6 changes are happening. And this knowledge of the soul is very clearly given in our scriptures. In other religions it is not so clearly given. Some people say soul is not a literal thing, it is a metaphor. बस ये कुछ बताने के लिए दिया गया है, सब में तो नहीं होता है. Some people say animals don't have soul. Some religions they say the child in the womb doesn't have soul, so we can kill the child in the womb. All these things are there in the world, but the scriptures they always say the soul is always there in all the species. As soon as the soul enters the womb of the mother, as soon as the parents they come together to conceive, the soul enters the womb and the child starts growing. As soon as the soul leaves the body, the child never grows. So that is the understanding. So therefore this verse says the soul is aja. It has not come into being. It will not come into being also. So the soul never takes birth and never loses its existence. One time Srila Prabhupada, he was in India, and in the North India he was attending a conference, religious conference, and all the big sadhus were there. Badi daadiyan, ekdam safed baal. They were all speaking Mayavad. We are God, you are God, we can become God, and just chant some mantra. Srila Prabhupada, he was with his disciples. Young disciples, abhi 6 mahina hi nahi hua hai bhakti mein aaye hue, American. So Prabhupada, he became so upset hearing all these things. He said, I am not staying here, I am leaving. So one of the disciples, Gurudas Prabhu, he said, Prabhupada, next is your turn to speak. Prabhupada said, I am not speaking, you go and speak. He said, Prabhupada, I am just 19 years old. यहाँ पे 50, 60, 70 साल के लोग बैठे and they are expert. What will I speak? Prabhupada said, you know better than them, go and speak. American people, they also thought, ठीक है, चलो प्रभुपाद ने बोला है तो जय प्रभुपाद बोल के चले गए वो. And then he said, so all of you are saying everything is one? Is Rasgulla in sweet shop and stool in the street, is it one? So they got shock of their life. आज तक ऐसा एग्जाम्पल किसी ने दिया नहीं उनको. They went to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, your disciples are insulting us. He is telling us to eat stool. So Prabhupada called Gurudas Prabhu. Did you say that? He said, Prabhupada, I was just giving an example. How can you compare Rasgulla in the sweet shop and stool in the street? So Prabhupada said, okay, you go. So Prabhupada told, my American disciples, sometimes they give very graphic examples. You don't worry, I will chastise them. And then Prabhupada sent them all. Then Prabhupada called Gurudas Prabhu. What was that example? Rasgulla in street shop, stool in the street. Very good example. So if somebody says everything is one, it is not possible. There was one other person. He had written a book on Jagannath Ji. And in that he has written full Mayavad. We are Jagannath, we can become God, Jagannath is us, sab Mayavad likha hai. And he had such foolish intelligence, he called Prabhupada for book kya bolte hain, inauguration. And he said, now, and he was inviting various speakers, and then he said, now Swamiji will come and speak. So Prabhupada went on the stage, he took the mic and he said, we have society, international society, we are preaching all over the world, we have branches. And apne bare mein Prabhupada speaking pure philosophy, ISKCON ka and Bhagavad Gita. Then he sends a chit. Swamiji, please speak about my book. Prabhupada reads that. So we are calling everyone to chant this Hare Krishna mantra, follow 4 regulative principles. Thoda beech mein ek aur chit. Swamiji, please speak about my book. Prabhupada is not stopping only. And he becomes so desperate, he gets up and says, and now Swamiji will speak about my book. Prabhupada says, this book is bogus, nobody should read it. वो गिर गया उधर, क्या बोल रहे हैं? That's how Prabhupada was uncompromising. When it comes to Mayavad, तुम कोई भी रहो. Mayavad is very, very dangerous philosophy. Because we can never become God. We are supposed to serve God. How can we become God? There is only one relation between Atma and Paramatma. He is the master. We are supposed to serve him. That is the only relation. And that relation is very, very wonderful. When you hear the word servant, क्या मन में आता है? सर्वेंट वर्ड सुन के तुच्छ. और स्लेव, व्हाट एल्स? डाउनग्रेड, एकदम ऐसा लो क्लास वर्क. अच्छा, और क्या था सर्वेंट सुन के? काम करने वाला. अच्छा, काम करने वाली बाई नहीं ना. और ये कौन बोला? राम. अच्छा. मतलब नो फ्रीडम, मे बी अब्यूज, एक्सप्लॉइटेशन. इसलिए कोई सर्वेंट नहीं बनना चाहता इस संसार में. किसी को ऐसी किसी की इच्छा है, आई वॉन्ट टू बिकम सर्वेंट, When we come to spiritual life, we are taught the first thing is you have to become servant. ऐसा कैसे है? ये तो गलत बात है. मैं तो यहाँ पे राजा बनने आया था, मुझे नौकर बना रही है. ये क्या चल रहा है? Please take out 15th chapter, first verse. All of us have come to become masters in this world, and the experience is master तो बनते नहीं है, पिटाई तो होती रहती है, और सर्वेंट तो बनना नहीं है. तो कैसे काम चलेगा? करना क्या है? 15.1 मिल गया सबको? ऊर्ध्वमूलम अधशाखम अश्वत्थम प्राहुरव्ययम छंदांसि यस्य पर्णानि Yastam Veda Saveda Ved. Translation, please.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is a knower of the Vedas.
This material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. Whatever is there highest in the spiritual world, it is lowest in material world. यहाँ पे सबसे नीचे क्या है? Servant. Nobody wants to become servant because servant means exploitation, abuse, no freedom, no independence. Opposite of that is in spiritual world. There everybody wants to become servant. Servant of God. Why? Because servant of God enjoys more than God. You know, in this world also, if somebody says driver हूं मैं, you know, ordinary driver, taxi वाला, and if somebody says मैं prime minister का driver हूं मालूम, is there a difference? बोले ड्राइविंग तो कर रहा है ना, क्या बड़ी बात है? बोले किसका ड्राइवर है? That is important. You know, so we are not ordinary servants. We are servants of Supreme Lord. And servant of Supreme Lord doesn't mean मैं तो केवल भगवान की सेवा करूंगा, भगवान के जितने भी डिवोटी हो बाजू में हो जाओ, मैं और भगवान. No. When we serve God, we naturally like to serve those who are devotees of God also. That's what Krishna likes. So that's why the highest in spiritual world is to become servant. It is not a derogatory term, servant, नौकर. इसका बहुत अच्छा शब्द है दास. Servant of God enjoys more than God. That is interesting. That's why God also comes and sees, Krishna sees, they are my devotees, they are supposed to enjoy. I am supposed to enjoy more than my devotees, but they are enjoying more than me. ऐसा कैसा? इनको ज्यादा मजा आ रहा है सेवा करने में मेरा. They are more happy than me. How is it? I also want to experience it. So to experience that joy of becoming devotee, he comes as devotee. That is a form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wants to enjoy his own beauty. कैसे enjoy करेंगे? How can you just, one time Krishna, he was in Dwarka. And he was walking by, there was a jeweled pillar in Dwarka palace. His palace. He saw his own reflection. And he started thinking, who is this person? Own reflection. He's so beautiful, he gets mesmerized seeing his own beauty. And he stops there and he says, who is this beautiful personality? I want to see him more. So to experience the joy of seeing Krishna, serving Krishna, he becomes devotee of Krishna. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's how, this concept of personal God. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं, अरे भगवान तो सब जगह हैं, भगवान मूर्ति में कैसे हो सकते हैं? We have discussed this, whole section, idol worship, ideal worship. नहीं, हमने ये नहीं डिस्कस किया, कभी हम लोग वो भी डिस्कस करेंगे. Krishna is a person, he is not an impersonal God. Some people say भगवान का रूप नहीं होता है, वो तो निर्गुण निराकार ब्रह्म है. सुना है वर्ड? निर्गुण निराकार ब्रह्म. God has form. And there is a light which comes from his body that is called as Brahma Jyoti. That is the Nirakar Roop of God. But if somebody says, no, Nirakar Roop is the only Roop, there is no person God. How is this possible? बल्ब की लाइट होगी लेकिन बल्ब नहीं है. ट्यूब की लाइट है, ट्यूब नहीं है. ऐसा ऐसे हो सकता है? Is it possible? No. And when we hear about a person God, we get more attracted, right? How can one get attracted to a light? How can we develop relation with light? We require a person. And when we hear Krishna is so beautiful and he's so merciful. He gave position of mother to a person who came to kill him. Forget about killing. If somebody speaks few bad words to us, हम उनको वेलकम करेंगे घर में, आइए और 4-5 दयाल दीजिए. No. Putana came to kill Krishna and he gave her the position of mother in the spiritual world. That is God. Who can do that? Only God can do that. Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam jigham sayapyayadapya sadhavi lebhe gatim dhatri uchitam tatonyam kamava dayalu sharanam rajema. Who is more merciful than Krishna? Krishna, he gave position of dhatri, his own nurse, to a person who came to kill him. When Krishna was a small boy, he was just born, and Kamsa came to know that, oh, the eighth son of Devaki will kill me. He was trying to find out all the young boys, young children who had taken birth. And he sent this demoness Putana. She was expert in killing children. Her favorite drink was blood of small babies. She came dressed as a beautiful damsel of heaven. Apsara ban ke aa gayi wo. And as she enters the bedroom of Yashoda Maiya, where Krishna is lying, Krishna, he sees and he says, oh no, when I came as Ram, the first demon I had to kill was a lady. अभी कृष्णा के रूप में भी आया तो पहली राक्षसी मारनी पड़ी. He closed his eyes. Another reason why he closed his eyes, Krishna is thinking, इसने पिछले जन्म में कुछ अच्छा किया है क्या? You know, when we think, we sometimes close our eyes, we think. So Krishna is also thinking. Anyone knows who was Putana in her past life? She was the sister of Bali Maharaj. You know, the famous Vamana Dev, Bali. So when Vamana entered the assembly of Bali Maharaj as a small boy, the sister of Bali Maharaj, her name was Ratnamala. She became so attracted as a mother. She thought, I want to give him my milk. And when Vamana Dev took away everything from Bali Maharaj, she became so angry. She said, I want to give him poison. So Krishna fulfilled both of her desires. She gave milk also and poison also. But Krishna is seeing only good thing. You know, that's how Krishna is. Krishna is adoshadarshi. वो कभी भी दोष नहीं देखते हैं. And that's what he expects from his devotees also. Don't try to see fault in others. हमारा उल्टा होता है. We get excited. पता है इसने क्या किया? नहीं मालूम. I will tell. And we get so excited in talking about the faults of others. ऐसा किया, उधर क्या हो रहा है मालूम है, और उसने तो ऐसा बोला, क्या बताऊं. एंड 2 घंटे के बाद बोलते हैं यार जाने दो ना, अपने क्या करने का. Why to waste time then? Krishna is adoshadarshi. He never sees faults in others. He only tries to see good in others. That's how we should be. Some people have bee mentality and fly mentality. Bee mentality means even if you leave a bee in midst of garbage, the honeybee will find a flower somewhere and sit there. And a housefly, even if you put him in the middle of the flower garden, it will find some garbage in some corner and sit there. Likes to be. So some people are like that, fly, and some people are like bee. खोज के ढूंढ के निकालते हैं क्या गड़बड़ कर रहा है और इसमें क्या क्या बुरी चीजें हैं. And what is a great thing? Everybody has ocean of faults. ऐसा कोई है जिसको लगता है मेरे में तो कोई बुरी आदतें नहीं मालूम. अगर ऐसा लग रहा है, that is also a बुरी आदत. If somebody is thinking मैं तो एकदम दूध का धुला हुआ हूं. You know, one time Yudhishthir and Duryodhan, they were given a job. The Yudhishthir was told, you go and find out somebody greater than you. And somebody lesser than you. And Duryodhan was told, you find out somebody greater than you. So both went whole day and came back, and Duryodhan says, कोई नहीं मिला मालूम है. Nobody is greater than me. And Yudhishthir, he says, nobody is less than me, I am the lowest. That is the devotee, humble. A devotee never feels, मैं तो इतना बड़ा डिवोटी हूं ना, मैंने तो डे 1 पे ही 16 माला शुरू किया था, और ये तो पिछले 1 साल से 2 माला पे अटके हुए हैं. कैसे पतित जीवन देखो. A devotee never feels that he or she is a greater devotee, or I am such a great person. And they never try to find fault in others. That's what we should be always. So that's how Krishna is. So why will one will not be attracted to such a person? वो दोष नहीं देखते हैं. And he is such a personality, he is controlled by his devotees. You know, the path of spiritual life is very rare. Why it is rare? Because Krishna doesn't give devotion so easily. Whatever you want, he'll give, but devotion? नहीं, इतनी आसानी से नहीं देते हैं. कृष्ण यदि छुटे भक्ते भुक्ति मुक्ति दिया, कबो कृष्ण प्रेम ना देन राखे न लुकाइया. छुपा के रखते हैं कृष्ण प्रेम. The chance to love him, he doesn't give it so easily. Why? Can anyone tell me why? Why Krishna doesn't give chance to serve him, love him so very easily? क्यों नहीं देते हैं? Because he becomes controlled by his pure devotees. तो शुद्ध भक्त जो बोलते हैं वो करते हैं. The gopis, they tell Krishna, if you dance, we'll give you sweets. Krishna is dancing. If you sing, we'll give you makhan. And Krishna is singing. Who is Krishna? Is Supreme Lord. और किसके लिए डांस कर रहे हैं? For sweet and butter. गोपीभिः स्तोभितो नृत्यत भगवान बालवत् क्वचित् उद्गायति क्वचिन्मुग्धस्तद्वशो दारुयन्त्रवत्. He becomes like a puppet in the hands of the gopis. He's controlled by his devotees. That's why he first tests us thoroughly. सच में डिवोटी बनेगा क्या, या फिर मुझे परेशान करेगा? If somebody, you don't allow anyone in your home, right? And even if you allow somebody in your home, you will not allow everyone in your bedroom. Bedroom is a very private place. So spiritual world is like a bedroom. उसमें नहीं, that is like a home of Krishna. In that Golok is like a bedroom. ऐसे किसी को भी थोड़ा ना allow करेंगे बाबा. You have to have the same frequency. Nearest ones are allowed in the home and in the bedrooms. That's why Krishna allows only his pure devotees. Pure devotee मतलब भगवान की सेवा करनी है. And that is the understanding we should all have. When we serve God, we naturally get whatever we want in this world. Whatever we need in this world, not want. Wants are many. But Krishna, he is so very wonderful. He is controlled by his devotees. There is another very wonderful story. There was a great king. His name was Ambrish Maharaj. He was so great that Lord Vishnu had given him his own Sudarshan Chakra for his protection. One day, the great sage Durvasa Muni came to meet him. दुर्वासा मुनि के बारे में सुना है? क्या सुना है उनके बारे में? हाँ, जल्दी गुस्सा होते हैं. So Ambrish, he was doing fasting, and when Durvasa Muni reached, it was a time for doing the paran. नहीं, एकादशी के वजह से द्वादशी में पारण करते हैं. So Ambrish, he was fasting, and then it was a time for Parana. That time only Durvasa Muni came, and Durvasa Muni said, he welcomed, Ambrish Maharaj welcomed Durvasa Muni, and he said, please sit and please accept some prasad. और गेस्ट के खिलाए बिना तो नहीं खा सकते. Durvasa Muni says, okay, I'll come after some time. I'll go and take bath and come back. Yeah, you wait. ये गए स्नान करने तो आ ही नहीं रहे वापस. पारण का टाइम निकला जा रहा है. क्या करें? And Ambrish Maharaj is thinking, if I'll not do Paran on time, then all the credit will be gone. So he asked some of the Brahmanas, kya kare? What to do? They said, no problem, you just take some water. You know, drinking water is as good as breaking fast and not breaking fast. He was doing Nirjal Ekadashi, by the way. अभी आ रही है ना निर्जल एकादशी? अभी है? हाँ, याद है, डेट याद है सबको. और कोई एकादशी की डेट याद नहीं रहती होगी. अभी परसों भी एकादशी है ना, लेकिन वो वाली एकादशी तो हम लोग साल भर से याद रखते हैं. निर्जल एकादशी. 4-5 दिन पहले से पानी पीना शुरू करना पड़ता है ना. सच में टेंशन आता है लोगों को. भाई कितने लोग किए हैं निर्जल एकादशी पहले? निर्जल एकादशी का मतलब पानी छोड़ के सब कुछ पीना, ऐसा नहीं है. It is a very wonderful auspicious Ekadashi. Okay. So बिचारे Durvasa Muni is not coming, and Ambrish is thinking क्या करें? So he drinks some water. Durvasa Muni comes back. By his mystic power, he understands that he has taken water. He becomes so angry. He says, you have offended me. I will curse you. He had big hairs. He plucks out one hair and throws it on the ground. हम लोग तो इतना बाल कंघी करते हैं तो इतना गिरता रहता है ना, अपना तो स्कोप नहीं है निकालने का. एक दो बाल गिरा भी तो कुछ होने वाला है. गंदगी हो रही है, हटाओ, साफ करो. Durvasa Muni, when he threw one of his hair on the ground, it created a big demon, and the demon chased and attacked Ambrish Maharaj. Ambrish didn't even move to protect himself. He was just standing with his hands folded. And who was there with Ambrish? Sudarshan Chakra. So Sudarshan appeared and he killed the demon and he started chasing Ambrish, Durvasa. Durvasa is running for his life. Sudarshan is behind him. He goes running to Brahmalok. Speed अच्छा था Durvasa में. भागते भागते Brahmalok चले गए. And says, Brahmaji, please save me. He said, what happened? Arey, Sudarshan is chasing me. Sudarshan, I can't do anything. Go ahead. आगे जाओ. He goes to Kailash. Shivji, please help me. Say, what happened? Arey, Sudarshan is burning my bag, is about to kill me. Do something. Shivji says, who told you to, take panga with Ambrish? You don't know the power of the devotees of Lord? They are very powerful. That's what Yamraj tells to Yamdutas. अजामिल का स्टोरी मालूम है ना? अजामिल का स्टोरी में वो यमदूतों को मार के भगा दिया विष्णु दूतों ने. And Yamdutas go back to Yamraj and says, how many controllers are there in this world? We thought you are the supreme. आपके ऊपर भी कोई है क्या? उनको मालूम नहीं था हायरार्की. तो यमराज बोलते हैं, बेटा बैठ. First time he gets a chance to speak Bhagavatam to Yamdutas. नहीं तो यमराज का प्रॉब्लम क्या है? उनका प्रॉब्लम है, वो आके बोलता है, अरे इधर वो जलाने नहीं दे रहा है, उधर ऑयल खत्म हो गया है, आग नहीं जल रहा है, काटना है, वो जलाना है. ये सब प्रॉब्लम चलता है नरक लोक में, और क्या चलेगा? So Yamraj also tells, never ever go near devotees of the Lord. They are very dangerous for you. Please never bring devotees. If you want to know whom to bring, कौन जाएगा? हम लोग जानना है? नहीं जानना है? Yamraj says bring 3 types of people. जिह्वानवक्ति भगवद्गुणनामधेयं चेतश्च न स्मरति तच्चरणारविन्दम् कृष्णाय नो नमति यशीरे कदापि तानानयध्वं वसतो अकृत्विष्णुकृत्यान्. Anybody who is not chanting the names of the Lord with faith, bring them. Anyone who is not bowing down in front of the Lord with faith, bring them. Anyone who is not chanting regularly, bring them. Anyone who is not remembering the Lord regularly, that is the third one, bring them. So Lord Shiva says, I can't do anything in front of Sudarshan, especially when you have offended Amrish, great devotee of the Lord. You go ahead, you go to Vishnu only. He runs and reaches Vishnu Lok, Vaikuntha. He was the only person. You know what is the meaning of Vaikuntha? Vaikuntha means free from Kuntha. Kuntha means anxiety. He was the only person who was in anxiety in Vaikuntha. So if somebody offends devotees, he cannot be peaceful anywhere. So he tells, oh Lord Vishnu, please protect. Your Sudarshan is burning me. You know what Lord Vishnu says? I can't do anything. अरे ये आपका वेपन है ना, रोको ना उसको. और मैं तो ब्राह्मण हूं. You are Namo Brahmanya Devaya. Lord Vishnu says, but devotees are more dear to me than Brahmanas. You have offended my devotee, and I am controlled by my devotees. Aham bhakta paradhino nahi aswatantriva dvijah sadhuvir grastridayam bhaktair bhakta janapriya. Aham bhakta paradhina, I am controlled by my devotees. I can't do anything. You have offended my devotee? Go back to him and ask forgiveness from him. If he forgives you, then I will forgive you. He runs back to Amrish. And in this whole run, from Amrish back to Amrish, 1 year goes by. And Amrish Maharaj is standing for 1 year waiting for Durvasa Muni to come. Can you imagine? And he is not ताली बजाया, मार पड़ी ना, बोला था मैंने, क्यों पंगा लिया मेरे से? ऐसा नहीं बोले वो. He fell down at the feet. Durvasa Muni fell down at feet of Amrish, and Amrish is also asking forgiveness. Sorry, because of me you had to suffer so much. ऐसा कोई करेगा? If somebody wants to kill you, and he is chased and he ultimately comes back and falls at your feet, तो आप क्या बोलेंगे? पता चला, देखा मेरा power. So Amrish is asking forgiveness. So that's how the Lord is, that's how the devotees are. So why one will not be attracted to such a person, God? That is the beauty of spiritual life, that is the beauty of bhakti. When we develop connection with a God who is very beautiful, who is very merciful, who can do anything for his devotees. He is ready to break his own promise for his devotees. He doesn't care about his reputation. मेरा नाम खराब होगा, चलेगा. मेरा नाम खराब होगा, चलेगा. Devotees should be saved. That is how Krishna is. So, this process of serving God, that is the best process which we have received by coming to Bhagavad Gita. So that's why it begins with having this knowledge. I am not this body, I am soul. So Krishna, Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport, the soul is having 3 characters, Sat, Chit, Anand. And Prabhupada writes that. The soul is full of knowledge or full always with consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is the symptom of the soul. He writes in the 3rd paragraph there. Before that verse, Najayate Mriyate. In that he writes, the soul is full of knowledge. Even if one does not find soul within the heart, one can still understand the presence of soul simply by presence of consciousness. We can't see the soul, right? But we can see the effect of the soul, that is consciousness. Just like it is difficult to see the sun, but we can see the sun rays. So soul is not seen, but the consciousness which is pervading throughout the body, that is seen. You know, in our heart, Atma is also there. And along with Atma, who is there? Paramatma is also there. And Paramatma knows all our thoughts, all our desires. He is the closest person. And he is sincerely working how to bring this person back to me. हमको लगता है हम कितना मेहनत करके क्लास सुनने के लिए आ रहे हैं, मालूम है? Krishna has worked on us more than we have worked. Krishna has convinced us after great hard work कि बेटा भगवत गीता क्लास में जाओ और चैंटिंग करो और गीता सुनो. उसके लिए बहुत मेहनत किया भगवान ने. It is not so easy. So Krishna is active guide. There was one lady. She was doing PhD in atheism. Atheism में PhD कर रही है. So she spent 3 years writing his thesis on atheism. Atheism means God is not there. And she met real story. She met one day a book distributor, Bhagavad Gita distribution कर रहा था वो. So she thought, what is this book? Anyways, I'll take. She thought, I'll read something different. I'm reading all this atheism. Let me check what others are writing about God. She started reading Bhagavad Gita. And just by reading 3 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, she was convinced that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and Krishna is a person. She went to kitchen. She burned her 3 years of thesis. That's how this Bhagavad Gita can create miracles. Our problem is we don't read it. प्रभु जी उसके ऊपर ना as it is लिखा है. हम फॉलो करते हैं उसको अच्छे से. यथारूप जशी है तशी, एकदम बराबर उसको संडे इवनिंग को 7 बजे उठाते हैं और फिर 7 दिन रिमेनिंग उसको आरती करते हैं एकदम अच्छे से लाल कपड़े में लपेट के. दिखना नहीं चाहिए. अब वो पढ़ने के लिए है. हाउ टू वर्शिप भगवद गीता. Krishna says in 18th chapter, I think 70. Please take out that verse. 71st में बहुत अच्छा लिखते हैं. How to worship Bhagavad Gita. 18th chapter, 70th verse, I think 69-70. अध्येष्यते चय इमं धर्म्यं संवादमावयो. कौन सा है? 70. Yes. Will you recite that? अध्येष्यते चय इमं धर्मं संवादमावयो ज्ञान यज्ञेन तेनाहम् इष्टस्यामिति मे मतिः. Translation, somebody please.
And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worship me by his intelligence.
How to worship Bhagavad Gita? By intelligence. Read it regularly. सिद्धांत बलिया जीव चित्ते ना करो आलस, इहा हईते कृष्ण लागी सुदृढ़ मानस. डोंट बी लेजी इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग द फिलॉसफी. नहीं तो भगवद गीता में प्रभु जी आज बहुत फिलॉसफी सुना है. स्टोरी सुनाना कम कर दें आजकल, और जोक भी नहीं मार रहे हैं आजकल. मजा नहीं आ रहा है आजकल. नेक्स्ट वीक थोड़ा सोचेंगे जाना है कि नहीं. डोंट बी लेजी इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग द फिलॉसफी. मजा आए या ना आए, सुनते रहिए. The more we hear, the more we get purified. If our coming to Bhagavad Gita class is based on मजा आना चाहिए, तो हमेशा मजा नहीं आएगा. अभी से बोल रहा हूं. Going to temple will not always give मजा in life. We have to understand whether you. अच्छा, स्टडीज किसको किसको अच्छा लगता था स्कूल में, कॉलेज में? पढ़ना मजा आता है, एक्सटेसी आता है पढ़ने में. यार अलग लोग बैठे इधर तो है. ठीक है, मतलब कुछ लोगों को ही आता होगा ना मजा. बाकी लोगों के लिए तो सजा रहती है भगवत पढ़ाई, अकॉर्डिंग टू सब्जेक्ट्स. आपका सपोज सबसे बोरिंग वाला सब्जेक्ट आपको पढ़ने के लिए दिया जाए, कैसा लगेगा? फिर भी पढ़ते हैं ना, क्योंकि पास होना है। पढ़ेंगे नहीं तो फिर आगे चल के कैसे आगे होगा, डिग्री नहीं मिलेगी। So similarly, that study, material studies is needed for your life, for your lifestyle. The spiritual study is needed for your life. It will give you this will teach you how to make a good life. Your material studies tell you how to prove yourself. Spiritual studies tell you how to improve yourself. Material studies will give information. Spiritual studies will transform us. It will give transformation in our lives. पढ़िए उसको. Even if you like it or don't like it, just keep reading it. रोज पढ़िए. ए लीलामृत बिने खाए यदि अन्न पाने, तबे भक्तेरा दुर्बल जीवन. यार एक बिंदु पाने उत्फुल्लित तनु मने हासे गाए करे नर्तने. This wonderful principles of Bhagavad Gita, if you read every day, you'll be enlivened in spiritual life. Otherwise, प्रसाद तो 3 बार खा रहे हैं हम लोग. This verse says, यही लीलामृत बिने, ये पढ़ेंगे नहीं ना, खाए यदि अन्न पाने, प्रसाद तो खाएंगे. तबे भक्तेरा दुर्बल जीवन, devotee will become weak, not physically, spiritually. Please keep reading every day the science of soul. And if we are really eager for this knowledge, Krishna will send right type of people in our lives. That's what he has done. That's why we are sitting here. Otherwise, if we wanted some bogus personalities, bogus gurus, दुनिया में भरे पड़े हैं bogus gurus. कोई कमी नहीं है bogus गुरुओं का. There is one personality in Delhi. उनके पास लोग जाते हैं ना, तो बोलते हैं अच्छा आप समोसा खाते हैं, उसमें लाल चटनी डालते हैं कि हरी चटनी डालते हैं? तो लाल चटनी डालता हूँ. वही प्रॉब्लम है, कल से हरी चटनी डालिए, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा. और लोग बोलते हैं अरे बाबा जी टाइम, मतलब काम हो गया. एक बहुत अच्छा कहावत है, ढोंगी गुरु पापी चेला, नरक में दोनों ठेलम ठेला. तो वो भी ढोंगी और ये भी पापी है. उसको पाप करना है, उसको ढोंगी गुरु मिल जाते हैं, दोनों जाते हैं नरक में. So that's how, if we want to be really serious in our spiritual practices, then please keep reading every day. And please coming and associating with devotees. Then we will gradually go ahead in spiritual life. And chanting is the crux. Please keep chanting also. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions anybody has?
ये जो लास्ट वर्स इसमें we said आत्मा and परमात्मा, विभु आत्मा and
Anuatma. Yeah.
तो एक तरफ हम बोलते हैं आत्मा एक है, वजन नहीं.
Correct.
फिर हम आत्मा को 2 पार्ट में डिवाइड भी कर रहे हैं.
2 पार्ट में नहीं डिवाइड कर रहे हैं.
तो एक ही शरीर में 2 आत्मा बता रहे हैं.
2 आत्मा नहीं है, एक परमात्मा है. The Supreme Lord, He expands Himself and He is there in bodies of everyone just to guide them. Krishna says in 13th chapter 22nd verse, Upadrashtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purusha paraha. He says, Paramatma is there in everyone's heart and it has 2 activities. परमात्मा क्या करते हैं, देख वहां पे बैठ के 2 चीजें करते हैं. उपद्रष्टा अनुमंता, he observes and he sanctions. He sanctions our activities, sanctions our desires, and he just keeps watching क्या कर रहा है.
ये थोड़ा कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी नहीं हो गया जहाँ हम मायावाद में बोलते हैं कि हम परमात्मा के गलत है या मेरे में भगवान है वो गलत है. जहाँ बोलते हैं भगवान
मेरे में भगवान नहीं है, वो सही है. वो बोलते हैं हम ही भगवान है. तो आत्मा ही परमात्मा है, वो है मायावाद. But inside our this gross body, we have an आत्मा, वो जो हमारा आइडेंटिटी. और उनके बगल में एक परमात्मा भी बैठे हैं। श्वेताश्वतर उपनिषद describes just like two birds sitting on the same branch. द्वौ सुपर्णा सयुज सखाया समान वृक्ष पुरुषा निमग्ना। द्वौ सुपर्णा, दो पक्षी बैठे हैं समान वृक्ष, एक ही वृक्ष के डाल पे, और एक पक्षी क्या कर रहा है? जस्ट ऑब्जर्विंग, एंड दूसरा ही इज टेस्टिंग द फ्रूट्स ऑफ द ट्री। जो देखने वाले पक्षी हैं वो है परमात्मा, देखते रहते हैं। बट फॉर डिवोटीज ही इज नॉट जस्ट अ पैसिव ऑब्जर्वर, ही इज एन एक्टिव गाइड। बताते हैं एवरी सेकेंड एवरी मोमेंट, बेटा अभी ये कर, अभी ये सुन, ये करो। अंदर से कभी कभी आवाज आती है ना, आज थोड़ा एक माला एक्स्ट्रा करना चाहिए, बिल्कुल नहीं करने का आज, और मन चिल्लाता है मत कर। So what we have to do is, by the practice of chanting, we have to just calm down our mind so that we can hear Paramatma's voice more. That is the role of Paramatma. Any other questions? अंदर से जो भी आवाज आती है वो परमात्मा की नहीं होती है, मन भी होता है ना, मन भी बोलता है, परमात्मा भी बोलते हैं। We have discussed this previously also, right? What is the quality of mind's voice? Loud, fast, attached. जोर जोर से चिल्लाता रहता है मन, करना ही है, अभी चलना ही है, अभी देखना ही है, अभी 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 करना है। परमात्मा सॉफ्ट, स्लो, डिटैच्ड। धीरे से एक बार बोलेंगे और नहीं सुना तो छोड़ देंगे। सो वी हैव टू लर्न टू हियर द वॉइस ऑफ परमात्मा। अंदर से धीरे से आवाज आती है ना, कभी कभी परमात्मा होते हैं वो, तो हम सुनते नहीं है कभी, क्योंकि इतना हमारा चिल्ला रहा है ना मन, कहाँ परमात्मा की आवाज सुनाई देगी। So that's how the practice of chanting is to calm down the mind so that we can hear Paramatma's voice. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya